Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. One of the adab that we should have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to be grateful for everything that He's given us. He's given us so much that we can't count how much He's given us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. And if you try to count the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, then you won't be able to count them because there's so many. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this, like this sentence, twice in the Quran, one in Surah Ibrahim and the other in Surah Al-Nahl. And I want to go through these two ayahs, or like the two times that it came in the Quran, so we can try to compare. Alright, so the one in Surah Ibrahim, the ayah that's in Surah Ibrahim is ayah 34, and it says, وآتاكم من كل ما سألتموه وإن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها إن الإنسان لظلوم كفار. And He has granted you all that you asked Him for. If you tried to count Allah's blessings, you would never be able to number them. Indeed, humankind is truly unfair, totally ungrateful. Now, the one in Surah Al-Nahl is ayah 18. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. If you tried to count Allah's blessings, you would never be able to number them. Surely Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. So we can notice here that these two ayahs, the ones with this sentence, the one in Surah Ibrahim, it ends with that humans or like people are bad, truly unfair, totally ungrateful, while the one in Surah Al-Nahl, after this sentence, it says, Inna Allah la rahim, Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. So I just want to go through these two surahs and try to figure out why, well, first of all, why this statement comes in these two surahs, and why they both end differently. And this happens a lot in the Quran, where two sentences or words from multiple surahs are like they're in multiple surahs, but they're like a little bit different, and we should try to go and try to figure out why this is the case. That way we can learn more from the Quran, since there's so much to learn from the Quran. First, let's go through Surah Ibrahim and see why this sentence comes in this surah and why it ends with people are truly ungrateful and unfair. So in the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Musa alayhi salam and how he is reminding his people that they should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and especially after he saved them from Fir'aun, which Fir'aun used to like torture them. And we all know Bani Israel, the people of Musa alayhi salam, how ungrateful they were. They used to always complain to him and just always be ungrateful. So Musa alayhi salam is reminding them, like, you should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He literally just saved you from Fir'aun, and Fir'aun was literally torturing them, so their life is way better now, so they should be grateful for that. And Musa alayhi salam also says in ayah 7 of Surah Ibrahim, وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ وَلَإِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. And remember when your Lord proclaimed, if you are grateful, I will certainly give you more, but if you are ungrateful, surely my punishment is severe. So here Musa is telling his people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you are grateful, then He'll give you more, and it doesn't say more of what, it just says لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ and stops there. So this means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you more of anything. So anything that you're grateful for, Allah can give you more of that, or more of anything else. And in this ayah also it says, if you are ungrateful, if someone's ungrateful, then, or actually it doesn't say then, it doesn't say فَإِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. It just says, if you're ungrateful, stops the sentence, and then says, surely my punishment is severe, which is showing that if someone's ungrateful, then this doesn't mean they are guaranteed like to get punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it means that it comes right after it, so it could mean that if someone were to be ungrateful, then this could lead them to doing lots of like major sins that will lead them to this punishment. For example, like being arrogant, showing off, things like that. And then In the next ayah, the 8th ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَالَ مُوسَى إِن تَكْفُرُوا أَنْتُمْ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. Musa alayhi salam added, if you along with everyone on earth were to be ungrateful, then know that Allah is indeed self-sufficient, praiseworthy. So Musa alayhi salam now is reminding his people that if everyone in this earth, all the people, everyone, were to be ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to not follow His commands, then this isn't going to affect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, since He doesn't need anything from us, He doesn't need anything from everyone. So basically what it means is to be grateful. Like the reason why you should be grateful is so that Allah can help you, He can benefit you, He can give you more, just like what the last ayah said, and to stay away from like doing bad sins. Because if you're grateful, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will like keep you away from that. So again, Musa alayhi salam is saying that being grateful is for your own benefit. This isn't, for Allah, like Allah is not going to get affected that everyone's being ungrateful. And then we continue to, so now after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Musa alayhi salam, He starts to talk about some other groups of people, like the people of Nuh, people of Ad, people of Thamud, and those after them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about how they were very disrespectful to the prophets that were sent to them, and they were very ungrateful, and they were very they wouldn't listen to the commands of Allah, and they were even sent to them like clear proof of who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is and how they should be worshipping Him, and yet they still disbelieved. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about how they will be getting a punishment because of what they've done. And some of these people, like people of Ad, they used to build like large castles on mountains just to show off. Like they had so much money, they didn't know what to do with it, so they just used it to show off by like building castles, not to live in it, just to show off. And this shows their arrogance and how they're ungrateful. And then we continue in the surah, in the 28th and 29th ayah of Surah Ibrahim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِينَ بَدَّلُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ كُفْرًا وَأَحَلُّوا قَوْمَهُمْ دَارَ الْبَوَارِ. Have you not seen those disbelievers who met Allah's favors with ingratitude and lead their own people to their doom? So in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that there's some people who are so ungrateful for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them that they try to change it. They try to change what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, and this leads them to punishment, and this leads to their own people to their doom. And then the next ayah says, جَهَنَّمَ يَصْلَوْنَهَا وَبِئْسَ الْقَرَارِ. In hell they will burn, what an evil place for settlement. So yeah, these people who are so ungrateful that they change what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, these people, as it says in the ayah, in hell they will burn. So now we can understand why the statement comes in this surah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about how people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them so much blessings and so much favors that they weren't grateful for it. And which is why also after that statement it says, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَظَلُومٌ كَفَّارٌ, because these people obviously were ungrateful, they were disrespectful for the prophets that were sent to them. So this explains why the statement comes in the surah and why it ends with إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَظَلُومٌ كَفَّارٌ. Now let's go through Surah Al-Nahl. In the first ayah of Surah Al-Nahl, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أتى أمر الله فلا تستعجلوه سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون. The command of Allah is coming, so be not impatient for it. Exalted is He and high above what they associate with Him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is starting off the surah with a warning that His command is near, which is the Day of Judgment, and He can have it happen at any time He wants. So He's telling people don't be impatient with it. Start to prepare for it, by making good deeds, making istighfar, all that. And He also says, exalted is He and high above what they associate with Him, because at that time, or still now, there are many people who associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by worshipping, say, idols. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling these people that He should be worshipped, not whatever people are associating partners with Him. And then in the surah, before like that statement that we talked about, before that statement comes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to talk about how He should be worshipped and not what people are associating partners with. Like, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say, He created the earth, the sky, everything, so why would you worship whatever you're associating partners with? And He should be the one being worshipped. And then after that, the ayah comes, the one that has the statement, and then again, after that statement, it said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَعَفُوٌّ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. And the reason why that comes in is, if you notice in Surah Ibrahim, it talks about certain groups of people like Bani Israel, Qawm 'Ad, Thamud, Qawm Nuh. And while over here it doesn't talk about specific people, it just talks about in general people who are associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Ibrahim, like Qawm 'Ad, Thamud, the ones who got clear proof, yet they disbelieved, for them it was too late to start asking for forgiveness and start being grateful again, things like that. It was already too late because they already disbelieved after they literally got the clear proof. So it was too late for them. But for the people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about in Surah An-Nahl, just the people who associate partners with Him, they still have the time to ask for forgiveness and prepare for this day of judgment, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the beginning of the surah, that His command is near. So that way we're able to see the difference between the two surahs and why Surah An-Nahl ends with Inna Allah la ghafurur rahim. Yeah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.